The White House and Israel are trying to weaken Syria. They're trying to weaken Mr. Jolani. They want him there instead of Assad, but they want him to be weak. So that's why Israel bombed all of their military infrastructure that was left behind by the Assad government. And that's why Israel is now 25 kilometers away or 25 miles away from Damascus. They've occupied up until that territory. That's why the United States is in negotiations right now to build a new military base, an Air Force base in Damascus or right outside of Damascus, because they want not Assad in, because Assad couldn't be controlled. Have your critiques of Assad, but he couldn't be controlled by the U.S. or Israel. And they want Syria to eventually be weak and join the Abraham Accords and normalize with Israel. The Trump administration is welcoming a foreign leader to D.C. today. He's going to be at the White House. He's going to have a very grand welcome. And that foreign leader just so happens to be a man who spent his youth, the duration of his 20s and early 30s, as an ISIS and Al-Qaeda commander in both Iraq and Syria. That foreign guest that Donald Trump is going to be welcoming into the White House today is the founder of Al-Qaeda in Syria, Mr. Al-Jolani. And Al-Jolani, this guy is obviously someone that the U.S. should not be friends with. I know David Petraeus, former CIA director, he shook hands with him. He said, well, we're on the opposite sides in Syria. We're fighting each other. But in actuality, they were working together. Jake Sullivan emailed Hillary Clinton once saying that Al-Qaeda is on our side in Syria against Assad. So if you've been following the real news, if you've been following this show, Jimmy Dore's show, if you've been following the Duran, if you've been following Redacted, if you've been following the Truth Tellers, Tucker Carlson, you know that this has been the plan all along. The U.S. propped up Al-Qaeda, HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and other affiliated groups and got them into power by overthrowing Bashar al-Assad. Now what's happening? You have ethnic minorities getting massacred, getting beheaded. This is, by the way, what Mr. Al-Jolani, the new president of Syria, was doing for the duration of his career, his military career, was just beheading people. So the day before Mr. Al-Jolani, the president of Syria, was to come out to the United States to meet with President Trump, what's he doing? He's balling out with U.S. CENTCOM. Please immediately fire whoever put that music on that video. So, yes, the former ISIS and Al-Qaeda leader in Syria and Iraq is playing basketball with U.S. CENTCOM. Amazing. 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 Syrian girl says, as I told you 13 years ago, Al-Qaeda is CIA. Exactly. Exactly. CENTCOM has only one ally, Israel, and the Arab puppets who fight for U.S. interests. So yeah, the Syrian president is playing with the guy whose task is to plunder the region and attack Islam. That's from Mecca Ocent. Okay, so that's what he's doing. And you know what's interesting about Mr. Al-Jolani? He actually has a new name now. His new name is Ahmed al-Sharaa. Ahmed al-Sharaa. What's so interesting about Mr. Al-Jolani is that if you look at his Wikipedia, which, by the way, has had literally thousands of edits, thousands and thousands and thousands of edits since he led his fighters into Damascus and they took control of the Syrian government, guess what? His Wikipedia has been updated with one very interesting, I guess, erasure of information. You see his military service here, military service. It says that he's been actively involved in his military and service from 2003 to present. He was commander-in-chief. He still is commander-in-chief. He commands the Syrian armed forces. Wow, interesting. Interesting. So it's interesting because his Wikipedia used to be a lot more accurate. It used to show you where he actually participated in conflict and what he actually fought for and which militant organizations, if you will, that he led. Well, now he's with the Syrian Salvation Government. Yes, from 2017 to present. So One might ask the question, how is he a part of the Syrian Salvation Government if the Syrian Salvation Government didn't have control of Damascus until December of 2024? That's the first question I'd ask. But they say 2017, he's been the leader of the Syrian Salvation Government. At least that's what Wikipedia used to say. Of course, his Wikipedia also used to say that he was the leader of Hayat al-Sham from 2017 to present, the Al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria. And it also used to correctly point out that, he was the former leader of Al-Qaeda from 2003 to 2016 in Iraq, the Mujahideen Shura Council from January to October of 2006. And also, he was the leader of Al-Nusra Front from 2012 to 2016 and the Islamic State of Iraq, ISIS, from 2006 to 2012. I wonder why that got deleted from his Wikipedia. One very interesting fact about Mr. Jolani. In his youth, he fell in love with an Alawite girl. When he was a young man, he fell in love with an Alawite girl. And both of their families, the Alawite girl and his family, they both rejected the relationship. They said, this can't happen. We do not tolerate this. Jolani was born in Saudi Arabia, by the way. And I believe that's correct. I believe he was born in Saudi Arabia. He was born in some Gulf state. And anyway, so he fell in love with this Alawite girl. And obviously, this Takfiri Salafist faith that Jolani now follows and promoted in ISIS and Al-Qaeda, it obviously considers Alawites to be infidels, and that's why they have massacred so many of these Alawites in Syria. But he fell in love with this Alawite girl. That was like the origin story of his turning into this evil villain. It happened when he was a young man, when he was finding his identity, and his parents said, no, you can't. Her parents said, no, you can't. Broke his heart, I guess. And now he's turned into a man who slaughters Alawites all across his own country. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.